Welcome everyone to another Singerreise video podcast. My name is Jonathan Silvia and I'm your host. Thanks for joining us. In this video, we're going to take a look at number 7 in the Winterreise cycle, Auf dem Flusse. We had just finished having a good cry in Wasserflut, and now the wanderer has decided to take another look at the river that runs into the town. This time he notices that the river is iced over, and naturally he decides to go and walk out onto it, thus the title Auf dem Flusse, or On the River. Apparently nobody told the wanderer that walking out onto thin ice while there's moving water underneath it, that's kind of a bad idea. Or maybe it's just that the wanderer doesn't care. Schubert, on the other hand, knows the peril that the wanderer is putting himself into. And so for the intro, he takes these staccato eighth note chords and breaks up the chord, one in the left hand and then the chord in the right hand, and puts some eighth rests in between. To me, this pattern is signifying the careful steps that the wanderer is taking going out onto the ice. When the vocal part comes in, however, he gets a nice legato line that's a little bit hushed, but to me that sounds like the river. So in a little bit of a switch here, we have the piano part being the wanderer and the vocal part being the background setting, the environmental setting. In this first section, the wanderer addresses the river directly. And here we have a couple of different words for river. One of them is Flusse and another one is Bache. Well, he's asking the river why it's being so quiet now. Before, he remembers that it was a very lively and vibrant and almost kind of wild sort of river. But now, unlike the tree, which was talking constantly to the wanderer, the river doesn't seem to be saying almost anything at all. In fact, it's not even giving him a word of farewell. Our wanderer notices that the river has been iced over. And here we have another couple of words to describe that. We first see the word renda, which more accurately translates to a crust. You can kind of think of like an orange peel or a rind over the river. Another word that we use is Decke, which more literally means covering. Well, he sees this covering and decides to go out on it, and being the serial graffiti artist that he is, he takes out a sharp rock and decides to start chiseling some words into the ice. This time around, the wanderer gets pretty specific in terms of the words that he carves into the ice. He starts with the name of his lover, but then he also puts in there the hour and the date that he and his lover first met. He also carves into there the day that he left her house, which just seems like it was yesterday. To me, this looks a little bit like an epitaph, like a carving that you would put into a tombstone. It's kind of a dark sort of image. He also encircles the name and the dates with the symbol of a ring. But it's not a full ring, it's actually a broken ring. To me, this is another reference to the possibility that the wanderer and his lover might have actually been engaged. Of course, this also could just be an assumption of an engagement. It could all just be in the wanderer's head. Throughout the second passage, Schubert throws in another theme that we only heard snippets of in the first section. This theme is some repeated chords as 16th notes. He kind of does one step with the 8th notes and then puts in all of these 16th notes and mixes them up a little bit. To me, that pattern is the sound of the ice cracking underneath the wanderer's steps. We heard just a couple snippets of it in the first section, but it comes up almost every other step here in the second section. In fact, as we keep going further into this section, the 16th note chords become triplet 16th note chords. And eventually they start going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, without the little careful steps in between. So Schubert is reinforcing the peril that the wanderer is taking with his life here. The last little bit of text, Schubert takes and repeats it a few times, as he seems wont to do at the end of almost every piece. Here, though, he switches up the themes a little bit and has the river theme that we had at the very beginning. That's now in the left hand of the piano. For the right hand of the piano, he adds a new little theme which is a tremolo. To me, this is a heartbeat. In the text, the wanderer is talking to his heart and asking the heart if it recognizes itself in this image of the frozen river with the running water underneath. Just like in Gefrorene Tränen and in Erstarrung, he sees that his heart is iced over, but there's still this warmth and beating that's happening inside of it. For the Passion, we also have some dynamics. There's a forte for the singer and for the piano, and even some sforzandos thrown in. So the louder dynamic, of course, is the more impassioned stuff. It's a wonder that the wanderer doesn't just fall into the river right then and there. I think Schubert had a lot of fun playing with the word painting in this piece. And I'll admit, I had some fun coming up with these images to associate with all of the little pieces that Schubert put in there. Of course, my interpretation is not the authoritative and the only interpretation that's out there. You're welcome to come up with your own. If you want to read a little bit more about the different analyses of the pieces, you can take a look on the Singerreise.com website. There at the top of the screen is a link for Winterreise, and I've put on there some resources that you can take a look at, like some books that are available on Amazon.com. One of them is Susan Nguyen's Retracing a Winter's Journey, and the other book on there that I might recommend at this point is Ian Bostrich's Anatomy of an Obsession. So check out the website and maybe take a look at some of those books. You can also, of course, visit us on facebook.com/Singerreise to be updated when new posts or when new videos come out. And of course, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking and what you're seeing, and if there's anything I can help you with a little bit more, or if you have some suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, enjoy the presentation of Auf dem Flusse.
Mein Herz